Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today we are going to study Unit 3, Lesson 4 and 5. Please open your students book on page number 26 and 27. Grammar lesson and vocabulary. We are going to study third conditionals. You can refer to grammar reference on page 120, I think 25. Let's start with this question about coffee houses. Some people like coffee house or the coffee house as they meet their friends and discuss some issues. It's a warm place where one can socialize with others. One can socialize with others. What is your favorite meeting place and why? Raise your hand, please. What is your favorite meeting place and why? Mina?
My favorite place to meet my friends is the venues because we can do more than one activity.
Yes, thank you very much. Hamad Majdi?
كنت أقول موضوع مشابه ليه أصلا.
Yes. صبحي حامد?
My favorite place to meet my friend, the Marina Mall, because we can walk in the beach and do a lot of things there.
Thank you. صبحي حامد. Yes, okay. الفلكي?
coffee house.
Yes, good. عمرو محمود?
Because
My favorite
Yes.
my favorite meeting place is the coffee house as I meet my friend and discusses some issue. It is a warm place where we can socialize with others.
Yes, thank you. Why do you think coffee houses are especially very popular with young people? Young people like you prefer coffee houses for meeting their friends. Why? Why do you think coffee houses are especially very popular with young people? الفلكي عبد الله.
because they have a real relax in there and
Yes, thank you.
have a nice time.
Yes, good. عمرو محمود.
The young people can meet their friends, spend a nice time with their friends and family.
Thank you. I think coffee houses are especially very popular with young people because young people tend to imitate the old who gather in coffee houses. Besides, the young can meet their friends, spend a nice time with their relatives, and drink their lovely drinks. Okay, let's go study the conditional sentence with this question. What would you do if you were a millionaire? What would you do if you were a millionaire? Who can answer this question? Abdurrahman Muhammad Atif?
If I were a millionaire, I would buy a palace.
I would buy a palace. Good. Ilari, thank you.
If I were a millionaire, I would buy a very expensive car.
Good. Ibrahim Abd Nasir?
If I were a millionaire, I will buy a yacht.
I will or I would?
I would.
I would
buy
buy a yacht. Yes, I would buy a yacht. I would buy a large ship to travel all over the world. Thank you. So, if I were a millionaire, I would live in a palace. I would buy a modern car, a very expensive car. I would travel all over the world. So, yeah, here it's unlikely to happen, or it's impossible to happen because you are not a millionaire. We use the second conditional sentence here.
Stadium.
Let's study the new vocabulary. A stadium. A stadium. A stadium, a large closed area of land with rows of seats around the sides and often with no roof, used for sports, events, and musical performances. A stadium. What is the biggest international stadium in Kuwait? What is the biggest international stadium in Kuwait? Mohammed Majdi? Munir?
Ustad Gaber.
Yes, very good. Jabir Ahmed International Stadium is the biggest one in Kuwait. Jabir Ahmed International Stadium is the biggest one in Kuwait. Look at these famous footballers.
Autograph.
Autograph, 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 a signature, your name written by yourself, especially of a famous person. Autograph. The footballer is signed. He has made his autograph on the shirt or on a ball or on a football. Famous footballers sign many autographs. Sign, they write their names. Many photographs for their fans. For their fans. Autograph.
In charge of.
In charge of. In charge of. Responsible for. In charge of. Who is in charge of the school? Mr. Khalid Shemri is in charge of school. He is responsible for the school. In charge of. What would you do if you were in charge of the school? What would you do if you were in charge of the school? Subhi?
I will take care of the school and the student in this.
I will or I would?
I will.
What would?
I would.
Yes, pay attention. I would.
I would take care of the school and the student in this.
Thank you. Ibrahim Abd Nasir, what would you do if you were in charge of the school?
I would
Imagine that you are the school principal, مدير المدرسة. What would you do if you were in charge of the school? I would. Imagine. Ilari?
I would take care of physical activity more than that, sports and such stuff.
Very good. Thank you, Ilari. Converse. To engage in conversation. Converse. To engage in conversation. Converse is a verb. Conversation is a noun. Converse. Irritated. How does he feel? He is angry. He's annoyed. He is irritated. He feels irritated, angry, annoyed. Lonesome. I feel lonesome. I feel lonely. Lonesome. Plaza, an open area or square in a town, especially in Spanish-speaking countries. Where are they sitting? They are sitting in the plaza. It's an open area or square in a town, especially in Spanish-speaking countries. Plaza. People can meet in the cafe in the plaza. Teapot. A container for making and serving tea with a handle and a shaped opening for pouring tea. Look at the photo. This is a teapot. A teapot. It begins with tea, it ends with tea, and it is full of tea. A teapot. Look at this poor baby. He is sickly. He is weak, unhealthy, and often sickly. This man is very tired. He is weary. Weary means very tired, especially after working hard for a long time. He feels weary, very tired. Now, let's revise the conditional sentences. We have 4 conditional sentences: 0, conditional, first type, second type, and third type. 0 conditional, if present simple or present tense plus present tense. If it rains, we get wet. We use the 0 conditional to talk about things which regularly happen. So we use the 0 conditional when we talk about facts or scientific facts. If you heat water, it evaporates. Something which regularly happens or takes place, always happens 10 or 100%. Okay? First conditional sentence, something which is possible, something which is likely to happen. If present simple and will plus infinitive, or future. If he studies hard, he will pass the exam. It's possible that he will pass the exam. Second conditional, it's improbable or unlikely to happen or impossible to happen. If I were the president of the USA, I would raise rates to the wealthier citizens. If I were the president of the USA, I would spread peace. If I were the president, I would help the poor. So it's impossible to happen or improbable to happen in the present time. The third conditional, it's impossible, or when you talk about imaginary situation, about something which didn't happen or happened in the past. If past perfect would have past participle. If you had got up earlier, you would have arrived on time. But in fact, you didn't get up early. So I'm imagining if you had got up earlier, you would have arrived on time. We are going to concentrate on the third conditional sentence. هركز يا شباب على الحالة الثالثة. Third conditional. So zero conditional, present simple, present simple. Okay. Third conditional, past perfect, would have past participle. So we use the third conditional when you talk about unfulfilled event in the past. And this will not happen. An action that will not happen. For example, Muhammad didn't study, so he didn't pass the exam. Oh, he's crying. He said, if I had studied, I would have passed the exam. Did he study for the exam? No, he didn't. He's imagining. Okay, look at this picture. He's sitting in front of the house on a rock, and he is talking to himself. If I had gone to the beach, I would have made sand castles. Had gone, past perfect, would have made. Did the boy go to the beach? Did the boy go to the beach, Abdullah Mustafa?
No.
No, he didn't. He's imagining. He's imagining the past. He's talking about unimaginary situation. So he didn't go to the beach. So he said, if I had gone to the beach, I would have made sand castles. Now, let's discuss these examples. يلا نشوف الجمل دي ندرسها ازاي. What tenses are the verbs in the first and second conditional sentences? Look at A, B, C. Who would like to read? A. Amr Mahmoud.
If we meet on Tuesday, we will go and see the new action film.
Where are the verbs here?
Meet.
Meet and?
Will.
Will go or will see. Right. Which tenses are they?
Present.
Present
Future.
simple and
Yes.
future.
With
Yes,
will.
very good. Thank you. So meet and will go. This is what? Present simple and future. Okay, B. Munir Badri.
If they closed all the coffee shops, we wouldn't have anywhere to socialize.
What are the verbs?
Closed and wouldn't have.
Yes. Wouldn't have. Which tenses are they?
Closed past simple.
Yes. And
Wouldn't.
second?
Would.
Would
plus
infinitive. Would plus infinitive. Good. C. يوسف علاء.
If I were in charge of the football stadium, I would allow people to watch matches for free.
Matches for free. What are the verbs?
Charge.
No, in a charge of this is what this phrasal verb. Where here? Where is the verb? Okay, where is the verb? And would allow. Which tenses? Yes, the first one. Where? Which tense is it? Symbol. Is it present or past?
Past symbol.
Past. Was or were past symbol. And would allow here would plus infinitive. So the first one present, future was well. The second and the third past symbol and would plus infinitive. So B and C are similar. B and C are similar. Now let's answer second question. In which sentence 1, A and C, does the speaker think something is unlikely to happen? Unlikely to happen, it's improbable or impossible to happen. Which sentence does the speaker think something is unlikely to happen? Omar Ahmed?
Sentence B and C are unlikely.
Yes, B and C. Let's see. So sentence B and C are unlikely to happen. Very good. Thank you, Omar. Now, which sentences do you think do you know or the speaker knows something is never going to happen? Ahmed Sayyid.
C is never going to happen.
Yes, C. In which sentence does the speaker think something is likely to happen? Something which is likely to happen, it's probable to happen, possible to happen. Amr Mahmoud?
Sentence A.
Sentence A. Good. Okay. Who can answer this question? If you were in charge of your neighborhood or if you were in charge of your city, what would you do? تخيل نفسك أنت مسؤول عن المنطقة والمدينة بتاعتك. What would you do if you were in charge of your city? لو أنت المحافظ المدينة, what would you do if you were in charge of your neighborhood or city? What would you do? Abdullah Mustafa.
I will take care of my city, and I will.
I will or I would?
Make it. I would.
I would.
I would.
Yes.
I would take care of my city, and I would make it very clean, and I will.
And beautiful.
I
Yes.
would. Very beautiful. Yes.
Thank you. Munir Badri.
I would build new clubs, schools, and shopping malls.
Yes, very good. Thank you. And Yusuf Sami.
I would أستاذ أنا كنت أقول I would build a school for poor students.
Very
من
good.
غير حالة.
Yes, thank you. So, if I were in charge of my neighborhood, I'd ban cars in Al-Habib al-Munawar street. If I were in charge, I'd build a new high school for local students. If I were in charge, I'd ban smoking in the city. If I were in charge, I'd build a big hospital in the city. If I were in charge, I'd set traffic fines for rule breakers. If I were in charge, I would build a coffee shop in my neighborhood. Okay, now read this sentence and answer questions. We are going to talk about third conditional. Past perfect, would have, past participle. ركز معي في الجمل دي. A. Listen to A and answer the question. If there had been an internet cafe in the plaza, we would have found it. Had been, would have found. Was there an internet cafe in the plaza? Who can answer? Was there an internet cafe in the plaza? Yusuf Ala. Muhammad?
No.
Was there? No, there wasn't. So if I said, if there had been an internet cafe in the plaza, we would have found it. Did they find it? Hilary, did they find it?
No, because it's not present.
Because it's not found. Yes, good. So no. Sentence B. If mom hadn't baked a cake, I wouldn't have enjoyed my birthday. Hadn't baked, wouldn't have enjoyed my birthday. Did his mom bake a cake? Hands up. Ayub bin Farid.
Yes,
Yes,
his
she
mom
did. Yes, she
baked.
did. Yes. Mom baked a cake. Did he enjoy his birthday? Abdurrahman
Yes,
Muhammad
he did.
Atif? Yes, thank you. Abdurrahman?
Yes.
Yes, he enjoyed. Yes, he did. Okay, sentence C. If we had stopped going to the book club, we wouldn't have stayed friends for so long. Did they stop going to the book club? Did they stop? Huh? Ahmed Said?
No.
No, they didn't. All right. Did they stay friends?
Yes.
Abdullah Mustafa?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. Good.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Now you are going to underline what are the underlined verb forms in extracts for A and C. عايزين نحدد الافعال اللي تحتها خطوط دي. شايفين الافعال اللي تحتها خطوط؟ عايزين نحدد هنا اي زمن. Sentence A, B, C. What are the underlined verb forms in extracts for AC? صبحي.
معك أستاذ معك.
Answer my question. Yes.
What are the verbs from the extent for? مش فاهم سؤال والله أستاذين.
In exercise 4, we have just read these sentences. If there had been an internet cafe, if mom hadn't baked the cake, if we had stopped going to the book club, which tenses are they? What are the underlined verb forms?
Past
Yes.
perfect.
Past perfect?
Past perfect. Past simple.
No. Past perfect. The first part, past perfect. And
Past
second
perfect.
one, would have past participle. Would have past participle. So past perfect, would have plus PP. Past participle or verb 3. Exercise B. Are sentences A and C about the past, the present, or future? Are they talking about the past, the present, or future? Hilary.
They are talking about the past.
Yes, very good. How are the third conditional sentences different from first and second conditionals? ازاي الحالة الثالثة من حالات if تختلف عن الحالة الأولى والثانية؟ أما لك هنا if I study hard I will pass the exam. If I studied hard I would pass the exam. If I had studied hard I would have passed the exam. How are the third conditional sentences different from first and second conditionals? In meaning, not in form. Abdullah Mustafa.
Meaning that if I had stopped, if I stop make that work, I will not get a high marks in exam.
Yes, thank you. Mahmoud Muhammad. Amr Mahmoud.
So the first conditional describe an event that is likely to happen in the future.
Excellent. Yes. The second conditional.
The second conditional usually describe something that is unlikely to happen, but
or impossible
possible.
to happen. Yes. And yes. And the third conditional
doesn't relate to the future at all.
Yes, it relates to the past. Very good. So the first conditional talks about something that is likely to happen in the future. The second conditional talks about something that is unlikely to happen, and the third conditional talks about something is in an imaginary situation. Imaginary situation, موقف خيالي. Okay, now we are going to correct the verbs in brackets. Complete these conditions since with the correct form of verbs in brackets. You are going to use the third conditional. هنستخدم حالة ثالثة يا شباب. كلها الحالة الثالثة because we are talking about imaginary situation. Correct the verbs. A. Ilari.
If Ahmed hadn't much at the party, he wouldn't have become so ill.
Excellent. Thank you. B. عمرو محمود.
If she hadn't visited her family in Kuwait City, she wouldn't have seen her cousin before
Cousins.
cousins before the summer holiday.
Excellent. أحمد السيد.
If they hadn't bought a ticket for the concert, they wouldn't have been able to get the
Singers autograph. Thank you. Had not bought wouldn't have been. يبقى احنا زي ما احنا شايفين يا شباب الحالة الثالثة استخدمنا ايه past perfect hadn't eaten hadn't visited hadn't bought. اوكي وهنا الفعل الثاني wouldn't have become wouldn't have seen wouldn't have been. اوكي في كلمة تانية شبيهة لكلمة if. كلمة if في كلمة شبيهة بها كلمة unless. لو جات لك جملة زي كده جمل منفية في الأول if أحمد hadn't eaten if أحمد hadn't eaten hadn't visited hadn't bought قال لك use unless هتستخدم مكان if we delete if and not هتحذف if مع النفي يعني تخلي لأن unless هنا if not unless means if not. Who can use unless in the first sentence? If Ahmed hadn't eaten so much food at the party, he wouldn't have become so ill. Use unless. Mahmoud Muhammad.
Unless Ahmed had eaten so much food.
Had eaten yes.
So much food at the party.
Thank you very much. Yes. He wouldn't have become so ill. Excellent محمود. يبقى هنا يا شباب الجملة الأولى منفية ب if not أشيل not بس وأشيل if less. لو كان الجملة في second condition منفية ب didn't أستخدم إيه unless والجملة في past simple في اللي positive sentence. Okay. B. Use unless. If she hadn't visited her family in Kuwait City, she wouldn't have seen her cousins before the summer holiday. Use unless. Munir.
B.
Yes, unless.
Unless she had visited.
Yes, very good. Thank you. C. If they hadn't bought a ticket for the concert, they wouldn't have been able to get the singer's autograph. Use unless. يوسف علاء.
يا أستاذ.
Yes.
Unless they had bought
a ticket. Thank you. Unless they had bought a ticket for the concert. Excellent. Okay, now look at the three pictures here. Write two sentences of each using the third conditional. عايزين نتخيل هنا. We are going to imagine the situation. Look at the picture. The first picture here, a child is sitting in a hospital. Who can make a sentence using third conditional if past perfect would have past participle? Abdullah Mustafa. Yes.
If she
if the boy. Okay, thank you. مين يا سامح؟
If he hadn't been sick, he wouldn't have gone to the hospital.
He wouldn't have gone to the hospital. Very good. If he hadn't been sick, he wouldn't have gone to the hospital. Another sentence. If he had taken all his medicine, he wouldn't have been sick. Okay, look at the man is running here in the airport. Use if with third conditional. Huh? Yusuf Sami.
To if the plane hadn't been delayed تمام, he would have arrived in Kuwait earlier.
Excellent. Yes, thank you.
B,
so yes,
أقول B ولا
yes.
B. If he
I'm listening.
had run faster, he
Yes.
wouldn't have missed the plane.
The plane. Thank you. So if he had run faster, he wouldn't have missed the plane. If the plane hadn't been delayed, he would have arrived in Kuwait earlier. Okay, look at the third picture here. There is a lot of rain and there is a flood, maybe there is flood, and the car doesn't or can't move in the street. Use the third conditional. Omar Ahmed.
If they if they had listened to the weather forecast, they wouldn't have been stuck in the flood.
In the flood. Excellent, Omar. Good. Another sentence, Omar.
ماشي.
Yes.
If he hadn't rained so heavily, the car would have.
Yes, if it hadn't,
the car would have been able to move.
Excellent, Omar. Thank you. So the first one, if it hadn't rained heavily, the car would have been able to move. If it hadn't rained heavily, the car would have been able to move. The same sentence. Okay. We can say or we can mention Omar's sentence. If they had listened to the weather forecast, they wouldn't have been stuck in the rain. Good. Thank you, Omar. Now, in English, there are several verbs which refer to different ways of talking. في أفعال خدتها دراسة قبل كده يا شباب بتتكلم على الحديث أو التحدث زي speak, talk, say, tell. Choose the correct verb to complete these sentences. حسب معنى الجملة الفرق بين معاني الكلمات ده. Choose the correct answer. Number one, I often spend hours to my friends arguing, chatting, conversing. Hilary.
Conversing to my friends, so?
Conversing or chatting? Converse, okay, chatting with my friends. It's good to your future plans with your parents. Discuss, speak, talk. Mina.
Discuss.
Discuss. Thank you. Best friends should not with each other argue, discuss, talk. Yusuf Ala.
Argue.
Yes, very good. A scientist is here to us about his subject. Amr Mahmoud.
Speak.
Can you me your email address, please? Yusuf Sami.
Tell.
Tell. Very good. Now, complete this sentence with one of the verbs from exercise 1A. يعني عايزك تكمل برضو فعل من الأفعال اللي موجودة فوق بأي جملة من الجمل دي. How long do you spend to your friends on the phone? How long do you spend? يوسف علاء.
Chatting.
Chatting. Good. Who do your plans with? Hilary.
Discuss.
Yes. Do you ever with your friends? Mina.
Argue.
Argue. Very good. If people feel sleepy, they need to sleep. عايز تجمل الجملة دي ب what do they need. They need. Here we use what? We use the first conditional or zero conditional, present simple, zero conditional. If they feel worried, what do they need? Abdullah Mustafa. If they feel worried, they need what?
They need to take. They need to take to someone.
They need to talk to. Thank you. If they feel bored, Amar Ahmed, if they feel bored,
they need to find some friends.
They need something to do. Right. They need to talk to some friends. They need to do something. If they feel weary or tired, Ilari, if they feel tired or weary, they need
to relax a bit.
Very good. They need to relax. They need some rest. If they feel lonesome, okay, you are going to complete the answers in your student's book. Okay. Now, what's the difference between a cup of coffee, a coffee cup? What's the difference in meaning? A cup of coffee, a coffee cup. إيه الفرق من a cup of coffee, a coffee cup? Ilari, what's the difference? A cup of coffee and a coffee cup.
I don't know actually.
In meaning, if I say a cup of coffee, it means a cup with coffee in it. A coffee cup here is just the container. فرق دلوقتي يا شباب. يبقى أقول هنا الاختيار الأول a cup of coffee, a pot of tea, a box of matches, a carton of milk means a cup with coffee in it. أما أتكلم عن الفنجان داخل القهوة. أما أقول لك a coffee cup, I'm talking about the container الوعاء نفسه. A pot of tea, it means a pot with tea in it. And a teapot is just what? The container. A box of matches, it's a box with matches in it. And the second one is just the container. A carton of milk, it's a carton with milk in it. And second one is just the container. Okay? نفس الشيء بالنسبة للاختيار كلها. A carton of milk. Okay, you are going to listen and
3.2.
Okay, listen.
Page
and
27.
Or underline the
exercise
word.
5.
Okay.
A.
Until we meet again.
Have you got a carton of milk? B.
Recording.
Would you like a cup of coffee? C. Have you got a box of matches? D. Would you like a glass of water? E. Have you got a piece of paper?
I'm going to take your attendance.